Alright, so here we are. This is the E8B. I've already cleaned and lubricated the gears and the axles. I'm not 100% certain if I've noticed any cracks in the gears because I know for a fact that Proto 2000s are notorious for cracked gears. So as far as I can tell, there are no cracked gears. Well, time will tell. So, I did use that Make Market heat-resistant tape to keep the wires in place because whatever this sticky funk was, it just, wouldn't. Those kept the wires down. So I just used the heat-resistant tape to keep them in check. Now, for this particular locomotive, I bought the Digitrax DH127P, and I know what I said about sound decoders and non-sound decoders, and that locomotives should be silent, but this is a B unit, not an A unit. I would much rather put a sound decoder in an A unit than a B unit because it's the A unit that's out in front. This guy is just here for a help. The B unit's there as a helper, bring up the rear, so to speak. So I didn't feel it necessary to get a sound decoder. So, of course, assembly is required to get these things together because there is the predisposition that if you're just looking to plug a 9-pin decoder in, it's already set. Hey, you don't need this part for an 8-pin, but since we are plugging it into an 8-pin, then we gotta connect it. So let me assemble this off camera, and then I'll put this thing on. So hold on to your hats. Alright, so I think I have this thing plugged in the right spot. Naturally, it doesn't tell you, the circuit board doesn't tell you where to plug this thing in. So the only way to know if I have this thing plugged in correctly is to take it to the track. So hold on to your hats. Alright, so here it is. I have the programming track on. Let's read the DCC address. And we got a DCC address of 3, which means we're stepping in the right direction. CV8 129, which is Digitrax. Now, let's see if I have this thing plugged in correctly. So I'm going to set this to main, switch it on, select address number 3, and here goes nothing. Oh, well, what do you know? I got under correct orientation, and we're running. Speed step 4. Bring it back. Speed step 4. Now, the other reason, what I forgot to mention earlier, was that the reason for not getting such a sophisticated decoder for the B unit is because the B unit has no headlights, has no front headlight, has no rear headlight. I didn't need anything so sophisticated because it's a B unit. I mean, it can. Sure, I'll probably consist it with the A unit when I get that thing running. Heck, I could even put a dummy locomotive um, in the front. Like a heritage locomotive, one of those excursion locomotives. Lash this thing up and let this thing do the pushing while the dummy is in the front. Easy peasy. Don't have to worry, and I wouldn't have to worry about them. I probably wouldn't have to worry about the buzz. But that remains to be seen. But in any event, we got it. We've got us a working B unit. So I'm gonna take it around the track and see how it behaves. Actually, let me first fasten that thing down. Be right back. Well, she's running pretty good, and yeah, you will notice that I have it on the inner DCCEX mainline, and that was because, for whatever reason, it was derailing on the switches on the wall side of the layout. Now, it could be that because this is a 6-axle locomotive per se, and these are 18-inch radius curves on this particular main line, which I use for the programming. Now, of course, and I have pondered it, I could turn the endurance main line, the main line with the bridge, into the other DCCEX main line and make this track a just DC powered. That way, both this main line and the outer main line, which I've been using as the endurance track, as the other DCCEX, because both the inner and the outer have 22-inch curves, and I do have enough 22-inch curves to make all main lines into 22 inches, but folks, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to disassemble, and I don't have the time to put everything together. So until I have more time in my hands than what to do with it, things are what they are. And it is running pretty good on sorry about that, on speed step 20. Come on, focus. Alright, well, maybe you can't see that I have it on speed step 20. And yes, folks, this is an Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. Hold on, I got a phone call. Sorry about that. That was the mechanic calling about my son's car. So yes, this is an Amazon Kindle Fire tablet running engine driver. So, so I am going to increase the speed step a wee bit more so that I can let this thing shake its sillies out. Give it the runtime it deserves. And I guess the next patient is our A unit, and that's going to be fun. So stay tuned.